what to do with scraps of fabric. So I'm going to give you scrap fabric ideas to sew. One of them includes like a scrappy pin cushion, some scrunchies. You could probably even sew this stuff to sell. If you are like me, you have tons of scrap fabric. I do sew a lot. I do throw away a lot of my scrap fabric, but I think after putting together this list, I'm going to save a lot of the scrap fabric. So the first one, of course, is going to be scrunchies. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of you have leftover apparel fabric. This is why I started with this one, because I know a lot of you guys sew, you know, like the McCalls and the Simplicity patterns. Actually, I sewed this shirt as well. Let me stay on track though, because I have these scrunchies here that you can make with your leftover satin. I have like different colors of this pretty satin. Satin is really good to use for scrunchies. I also have a tutorial if you want to click on the link above. I did write down just a quick note for you though. I use for this size, they're going to be 4-inch strips. Let me see what this says. Actually, for a hair scrunchie, I put on here 4 inches by 38, but I mean, you can make them as long as you want, but I think the width of a 4-inch is really nice, and then make them as long as, like if you have thick hair. This is a tiny one that I made for my daughter. You can make them out of like your cotton poplin fabric, your rayon fabric. Those ones turn out really, really nice. I have like some rayon twill fabric, and so that is just a perfect way. These are great gifts too, because anyone who has long hair will actually use them. I love sewing things and I love giving gifts, but I have to give gifts that I know that people will use. So definitely I couldn't leave scrunchies off the list. Oh, and remind me, I will probably forget, but there's also one I haven't made yet, but you make it with vinyl and you put the scrap fabric in between it. Okay, so hold that thought. You guys, do I have to mention Christmas is around the corner? So this is kind of good because we can give Christmas gifts and use the fabrics that we already have. Okay, so keep that in mind as well. Now, one other thing that I love is making hot pads. So I guess this list is turning into like gifts as well. Everyone can use hot pads, okay? Look at how beautiful this is. I actually have a tutorial on this one as well. But you can take your scrap fabrics that you have. I do have a lot of cotton because, you know, I like to quilt as well. This is quilter's cotton. You could also use like linen. You could use your leftover poplin fabric and incorporate tiny little strips of the fabrics that you have in your stash to make the most beautiful hot pad to give or use yourself. I love using these. I love putting them in my drawer. There's nothing better than when you're cooking, you slide open your drawer to grab a hot pad and it's got all this fabric goodness. So that is just something that you'll want to check out that tutorial, and you'll want to save your scraps for doing something like this. Okay, this next one is so helpful. It is something that you are definitely going to use, and they're these snappy bags. Look, you just have it only takes a tiny bit of fabric, and you just need to buy the vinyl. Actually, I have these kits available in my Etsy store. I'll leave the link in the descriptions tab below. I might have the card up here as well. Look at all the different ideas you can put inside of them, and they snap open. You can also hang them on a hook. I hang these on my pegboard in the back here, but this has a little hair ties in them. I also have one that I keep my needles in. This one I hang on my pegboard. Look at how perfect it is to keep your hot glue gun sticks in. And they open up like this, and I will put, I have a tutorial on that as well. You don't need to go and buy my kit. I have the measurements and everything on that tutorial, but that is perfect. That is a perfect way to use up just a tiny bit. It only takes a little bit of fabric. I also wanted to show you how cute it is. I have one around here that holds Band-Aids in it. You can put these hooks, you can hang hooks under your sink in your bathroom. Look how perfect that is to hold your Band-Aids in. and then you can carry these around in your purse as well. Okay, so the next one I'm going to show you what you can do with all of your leftover double brush poly. So like this shirt right here is made of double brush poly, and I saw this idea online, and it is the cutest idea because you take the strips of your double brush poly and you braid them, and you can make the cutest headband. Hopefully I have a picture right here to show you. Look at how cute that is. You can even incorporate like some cheetah print in there, black. You can make it all like completely brown if you want. And it can also be used as like a headband. You can do a kid's band. You can do a sweatband. I think that is just such a perfect thing. Oh, another thing that you can do with your double brush poly when you do it in braids, why don't you make it be, ooh, you could do like a lanyard and do the braid. You could also make it into a purse strap. Okay, which leads me to, I did a purse strap, and I made it though with, this is before I even saw the idea of braiding your double brush poly. I did this with just some quilter's cotton that I had. It just spices things up with your bag. There's a picture that I did with my black bag right there, but you could even wear this like as a crossbody. This one I added to this yellow bag that I have. I also have a plain black one. I love this black striped, and so you could even do like a scrappy one. Here's some more pictures and some inspiration to get you going. You can look on Pinterest for also a lot of ideas as well. The next project that I'm going to show you, you can use it with like a poplin, a rayon, double brush poly, really any scrap fabrics that you have left over. And it's an apple watch band. And you guys, I have made this. I'm going to give you, so the measurement that I use, I don't have a tutorial on this one. I'm sorry. I did find one other tutorial, so maybe I'll link that. I'll put that in the descriptions tab just for reference. For the strip that you need is 4 inches wide by 20 inches long. So keep that in mind when you're saving your scraps. 4 inches by 20 inches. And so I made this one out of a rayon. I also have some that I made like from some double brush poly. So that one is perfect. Hopefully I can get a tutorial out soon. I think these are great gifts. And then a lot of us have Apple Watch bands. So that is just another reason to use up your scrap fabric. Another thing that you're going to love as a sewer that you can use a lot of different, you can even use like a lot of different textures and fabrics, is making these tiny pin cushions. I don't know if you've realized yet, I kind of love to sew tiny things. I do have a tutorial on this one. I use this the walnut shells on the inside, but I even attach this cute little hook so you can hang this on your pegboard. Now, a lot of times I do use sewing clips, but every once in a while I need pins. I still need to have pins, like when I do like collars and things like that. Look at how tiny this one is. I don't know if the camera is going to get that. I'll probably have to get a separate picture. There we go. And it's got a tiny little hook up here too, and just tiny, tiny little squares to hold your little pins. So that one is cute. You can also give this as a gift to other people that love to sew as well. And then I also have this pin cushion that is a little bit bigger, in case you don't want to do those tiny little squares. This one I love too. When I look at it, to me it's like eye candy because I love looking at all the different little prints. Hopefully I have inspired you to use up your scrap fabrics. Make sure that you check out my scrap fabric playlist right there if you want to see more ideas on how to use up your scrap fabric. So I really hope you enjoyed these ideas, and I hope to see you in my next video. So until next time, happy sewing. Bye guys.